What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and on a day of where emotions are extremely high, I ask that you try and hear me out. If you want to get into it in the comment section, that's of course your decision. But what I'm mostly interested in is the way that big tech is reacting to this, the way that the media is reacting to this, because quite frankly, it's hilarious. No matter how you feel about the actions that happened yesterday, if you remove emotion from it and you look at, people comparing them to this past summer where billions of dollars in damage were done, private citizens were harmed, local businesses. I mean, as far as I know, yesterday, 0 targets were looted, 0 local businesses were burned to the ground, 0 cars were flipped. 0 fireworks were lobbed at people. So no, it's not the same thing. And while I'm not sure that storming the Capitol was the right thing to do, I understand why people felt like they had to or they wanted to. And if you support protesting, this is them protesting, right? If you called what happened this summer in Kenosha protesting, then this was something even lighter than that. Now, I wish that things were different. I wish that these 4 people that lost their lives yesterday were here today. I wish that the dozens of people that are about to lose their freedoms, I wish that wasn't going to happen. And that's the harsh reality of this. The system is not set up for people on the right to use the same tactics as people on the left. You're not going to get bailed out by Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel isn't going to call you a hero. And they're not going to call your gatherings fiery but mostly peaceful. I mean, just look at the way the media is covering it right now. I don't have all the answers, but I think, optically, this is going to be used against the entire, conservative movement for years to come. It'll be used as a way to discredit their opinions, to discredit, just because you didn't necessarily, because you tried to be respectful once you were in the building, that doesn't mean that you didn't break in and push past police barricades. I mean, there was bad actors there yesterday, absolutely. And the way Silicon Valley is reacting to this is exactly as expected. And look, Donald Trump has made a lot of mistakes in his presidential run. And one of the biggest, in my opinion, is his failure to deliver on any kind of regulation against big tech. His failure to reform Section 230 until it finally affected him directly. He ran on this type of stuff early, but did jack squat in 3 years. Only when it was too late during his re-election campaign did he bluster about reform. Now he's out of office, and the next guy that's in is going to only make things worse. He's going to support big tech censorship. Last night, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was locked out of Twitter, which included, as Twitter says, misinformation about the election. Now, I don't want to go into that. YouTube literally says I can't. But it's a frightening precedent, isn't it? It's one that if you're in the know, you saw coming miles away. They're going to ban him outright as soon as he's not the president. And what this essentially is Silicon Valley taking away the president's ability to communicate with his constituents. We've seen this happen, with other public figures who, by the way, successfully sued the president, forcing him to unblock them because they made their career as weirdo Trump reply guys. And Facebook has now said they would be suspending Trump indefinitely. Twitter required Trump to delete 3 tweets that the company said violated their rules and said it would suspend his account from posting for 12 hours after the removal. If the tweets are not removed, the account will remain locked, Twitter said in a statement. If the tweets are no longer visible on his profile, the company said that if Trump violated the rules again, his account would be permanently banned. Of course, they're going to permanently ban him. They can't wait. And, fine. Go ahead and do that. See how it works out for you. I think if Twitter actually cared about misinformation, they would have shut the whole site down for 24 hours. This was about owning Drumpf. It always was. It's about Jack Dorsey thinking he knows what's best for the American people. And this is a manifestation of Silicon Valley having entirely too much power over us. And good luck pushing back against that now. Trump blew his opportunity. It's absolutely disgusting that he didn't pursue this in 3.5 years. And now you've got a guy in there who's going to want more of what this is. After Twitter acted, Facebook suspended Trump from posting for 24 hours from Wednesday evening and deleted 2 of his posts that they said violated the rules. Mark Zuckerberg said Facebook would be extending the block on Trump indefinitely for at least 2 weeks until, quote, the peaceful transition of power is complete. What Facebook and Twitter have done here is not heroic. They have censored the President of the United States of America. Now, I know that some of the things President Trump has said on Twitter are incorrect. But I know that. This idea that Facebook and Twitter want to be the arbiters of truth, if that doesn't enrage you, if that doesn't shock you, why are you even watching my videos? If you're okay with Facebook, Google, and Twitter, YouTube and Twitter, in lockstep censoring the leader of your country, then I've got a boot for you to lick, my friend. I can look at the statements. Now, the problem is it would be unreasonable for me to not acknowledge that there will be people that look at the things that he says without a critical eye, and that can cause problems. But that's been true of every leader ever. Were you fact-checking Obama? Nah, you weren't. Were you fact-checking all these political pundits using inflammatory language about the people gathered there yesterday? Nah, you don't really care about the truth. You care about owning Drumpf. And YouTube also. YouTube removes Trump's video addressing everything. So they're not even allowing... And by the way, the problem is that Trump couldn't help himself about peppering in stuff about the election. His last message on Twitter was a call for peace, telling people to go home. Before the last one left here from 21 hours ago, I'm asking everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. I mean, to say that he was... encouraging this kind of behavior is one of the biggest leaps on the planet. But now this morning, Facebook has banned him indefinitely. Trump should have joined Minds. Trump should have joined Parler. Trump should have joined, as much as I hate their owner, Gab. The risk of allowing the president to continue to use our service are simply too great. Wow, thank you, arbiter of truth, Android Mark Zuckerberg. The shocking events of the last 24 hours clearly demonstrate the president intends to use his remaining time in office to undermine the peaceful transition of law and power to his elected successor. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. You're more than happy profiting off all of this unrest, right? The idea that you're all in lockstep here is an issue. Tim Pool talks a lot about the civil word. Maybe some form of it, but it's going to play out in technology, I think. the conversation around, again, it's not Twitter's job to protect the First Amendment. It's not Facebook or YouTube's job either. However, they receive blanket protections from the United States government that allow their monopolies to exist. And when you receive these type of protections from the United States government, it is my opinion that you do have a right to uphold the First Amendment. If you choose not to do so, then so be it. This whole publisher versus editor thing, or publisher versus platform thing, has never been more clear. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are not acting like publishers just allowing people to publish content. They are unequivocally providing editorial insight on content that's going up onto their websites. You could see Tim said too, YouTube has announced that due to the events of yesterday at the Capitol, they are moving up the timeline on election-related misinformation, removals from the 20th to today. Videos claiming any kind of widespread fraud or error altered the election will receive a strike and be removed. You can't even have that opinion. Now, I want to see evidence. You know, a lot of people, a lot of my viewers are super convinced, and I agree that there is a lot of weird coinkydinks going on. But you have YouTube, again, announcing that, no, this is our truth. You're not allowed to have an opinion that dissents from that. You're allowed to have an opinion that is wrong. That's what the First Amendment's all about. Again, do I think that it is their job to protect the First Amendment? No, I don't. But if you're going to receive protections from our government, by the way, from the taxpayers, then you had better let us speak on your platform. The choice is really easy, Mark Zuckerberg. Take some of that billions to protect yourself through a legal team, and you can censor all you want, or do as you did yesterday and act like an absolute moron. The idea that this is going to, see, these people, while they're farting in jars and smelling them, think that they've actually protected people in this country by doing this. They think, man, that's it. Yes, we finally put out the fire that's stoking, or we cut off the oxygen that's stoking these flames. That's not how this stuff works. All you're going to do is enrage more people. And by cutting off the free flow of information from, while you might not like it for the next 2 weeks, the leader of this country, you have made a dangerous miscalculation of your powers. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you again real soon.